All right, everybody. Well, let's get started. First thing, just want to introduce me if you don't know who I am. My name is Reggie Green at Green Home Loans. I'm the co-owner of Green Home Loans. Been in the mortgage industry about 21 years now, so I'm a bit of a dinosaur. And really, my focus right now is creating the best platform for loan officers to scale their business, as well as realtors to work with loan officers and get the best possible service for their client from a rate pricing perspective as well as a marketing perspective and being true partners with agents. So what I wanted to do is the reason I wanted to throw this class, I kind of put this together last minute, but the big reason I wanted to throw this class is I talk to loan officers and realtors every single day regarding origination strategies, marketing, their business, things like that. And in my opinion, a lot of times I see people that don't systemize their business. And in my opinion, a CRM is really necessary. You can be good without a CRM. I don't think you can be top of the industry great without a CRM. So, quick question for anyone in here. If you talk to a client, let's say 4 years ago, and for whatever reason that client didn't qualify, whether it's a home loan or if you're a realtor, that person decided not to sell or buy, are you still staying in front of that client in a targeted way 4 years later?
I'd say no.
Anybody?
No.
So if you're not, this is a good class for you because anytime someone comes into your database or anytime you have an interaction with someone about your business, what you want to do is you want to create systems so you constantly stay in front of that person over time, because the reality is most people that you talk about with mortgages, with real estate aren't ready today. So you have to stay in front of them. So every person you meet, you're creating more and more opportunities for your business to scale and grow. So really, that's what this class is going to be about. Now, as far as this class is concerned, it's an interactive class. So if you have any questions whatsoever, just stop me, blurt out. It does not hurt my feelings whatsoever. And what I'm going to really do is tell you exactly how we use our CRMs to the T, and show you all the systems we use in our business. So wanted to start off with what we're doing with the CRM. At the end of the day, what we're doing is we're trying to categorize leads for our business and put them in a system that we can look up and that we can market to. Okay. So what we do in our business is we've identified audiences in our business. And if you've never done this, I would really recommend doing this. And what you want to do is you want to look at, if I was to look at your past 10, 20, 30, 40 deals, where do your deals come from? And what you want to do is you want to create categories so you stay in front of those people so you have the ability to get more business. Okay, so in our business, we have 4 audiences that I've marketed to for years. And these audiences are these 4 things. Number 1 is leads. And what a lead is this is going to be either a lead I purchased, this is going to be someone I talked to about buying, selling their house, whatever it may be, but for whatever reason, they have not done a transaction with me. So they've raised their hand, they've spoken to me, they said they wanted to do a home loan at one point in time, but for whatever reason, we've never closed one with them. Okay, the second thing is going to be past clients. These are people that have actually closed a transaction with us. The third thing is going to be referral partners, mainly realtors. These are realtors that we either work with or we want to work with that we want to stay in front of. And then recruits is basically people we're always looking to try to bring talent into our organization. So we want to stay in front of people that we may want to work with in the future. So everything in our business revolves around these 4 buckets. And this is what we've identified as the audiences that move the needle for our business. And everything we do is meant to stay in front of these people to hopefully increase our ability to work with them. Okay, so one suggestion, if you've never done this, is I would definitely create audiences in your business, whatever's moving the needle for your business, and create those audiences. And then we're going to create marketing systems to stay in front of them. Okay, now I personally use 2 CRMs. Okay, I use Mailchimp for mass emails and I use Big Purple Dot for lead generation and workflows. Now, I'm obsessive with this stuff, and I realize most people aren't obsessive as me. So most people would be totally fine just working in one CRM. I like Mailchimp because I like to send a lot of emails and I like to send them in a short period of time because a lot of the emails we're going over market stuff that's time sensitive. And I like the design aesthetic of Mailchimp's emails. So I use them for my mass emails, and then I use Big Purple Dot for texting, lead gen, workflows, which we're going to break down here in a minute. So I want to start off with Mailchimp, and I'm going to pull open Mailchimp here in just a few minutes. But Mailchimp, what I do is just like I stated above, I create 4 audiences in Mailchimp, and this is actually a snippet of my Mailchimp screen. So we have Big Purple Dot leads. These are going to be leads. We have loan officer recruits. Out of state agents is just like a test audience that we don't really use. Past clients are people that have closed a loan with us, and then our realtor list. Okay, so basically what I do is I've created a marketing system to stay in front of all of these audiences. And if you're on this class, you probably were marketed to by one of these things. So with realtors, what I've decided to do is every Tuesday when I wake up in the morning, I write an email going over what's going on with rates, what's going on with housing, and also a breakdown of the Cromford report, which if you're not in Phoenix, it's a Phoenix statistician that basically breaks down all Phoenix metro housing. So every Tuesday, if you're a realtor that are somehow in our database, we're going to send that out to you. Okay, on Saturday morning, we are also going to send you out a marketing email. And the purpose of the marketing email is to give you marketing that you can use in your business and also let you know about classes we have coming up. So we're going to provide realtors with a ton of images, articles, videos that they can use in their content, whether it's social media, whether it's newsletters, things like that. And we're going to provide them dates and information on classes that we're throwing. And we're going to do that every single Saturday. And we've done these things for 10, 15 years. Okay. The next thing is we have a monthly email. And my monthly email is a little bit different than everybody's because it's about me. So basically, what I do is I just update our realtors on what's going on with our company, what's going on with my kids, what's going on with my life. And the reason I like to do that is everything in business sometimes becomes so business oriented. And I feel like if you share stuff about who you are as a person, what's going on with you personally, it's just easier to connect with people like that. So that's why I do that monthly email. Okay, with my past clients, what I do is I take that same weekly email that I created for realtors, I adjust it slightly so it's towards a consumer, and I basically send them updates on what's going on in the market every 2 weeks. And then I also send them a monthly email. The monthly email is similar to the realtor monthly email, it's just slightly adjusted from a consumer point of view. Okay, for recruits on Tuesday, what I do is I basically send them the realtor email that I send to show, hey, this is what we're doing in our business. If you want to take a look at how we do this, and then I usually try to provide some strategies or tips on how they could grow their business. Okay, I also send recruits a monthly email about what's going on with me and my family. Okay, and then leads, I do the weekly email, rates and housing news, just like I do to the realtors. I adjust it to a consumer standpoint, and I send that out every week. And I also do a monthly email. Okay, so one of the things I like about Mailchimp is number one, I can send emails to like 50,000 people in 2 hours. Okay, whereas a lot of CRMs aren't able to do that. Okay, so that's one of the reasons I like Mailchimp. The other thing I like Mailchimp about is I can create reports on how my emails are doing. I can look at what the open percentage is. I can look at who's opening them and who's clicking them. So, for example, if I had like a call to action in my email, I could see who's clicking them and maybe reach out to that person about their business and if we could work together. So, for example, one of the things we share with realtors a lot is tools that we try to provide to help their business. So, if they click on our realtor tools, I could look that up every week and literally have a call list every week of people I could call and talk to them. Hey, I noticed that you clicked on our realtor tools. Just wanted to touch base. We focus on really being partners with realtors and doing everything we can to help support you. Is there anything in particular that caught your eye or something that I can do to help your business? Okay, so Mailchimp has a lot of these features that I really like. Now, I did put together a weekly email as well as a monthly email examples if you want to take a look at that. But you're going to notice that it has a pretty cool design aesthetic of how they allow us to do it. And it's just a system I've been using for years. Anybody in here use Mailchimp or anybody have any questions about Mailchimp? What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull up Mailchimp just so you guys can see this in real time. So I'm going to stop this share and share another screen here. Give me just a second while I do that. Okay, so this is actually my Mailchimp account that I'm sharing. Okay, and just like I basically had shown you, this is my audiences in my Mailchimp account. And then what I'm also doing is I'm creating campaigns every single week. So here's my audiences, and here's the realtor campaigns I do. So on July 1st, which was on Tuesday, like I said, I sent out a Tuesday email. So the amount of realtors on my list is 15,969. Out of those 15,969, 27.6% people opened it, or 4,406 people opened it, 517 clicks. And if I want to view the reports, I can really go in detail on who opened it, who clicked on what, things like that. Okay. So I really like Mailchimp with the ability to do that, and I systemize our marketing so we're staying in front of people. Unless they unsubscribe, they're going to see this email every Tuesday, every Saturday, whatever system I created in our business. Okay, so Mailchimp's super easy to use, and for loan officers and realtors, we help loan officers and realtors use this system all the time. Just so you know, I'm not a rep for Mailchimp, but just so you know, Mailchimp is actually free up to a certain point of contacts. I have to pay for it because I have a lot of contacts. But one of the other things I did with Mailchimp over the years is I used to have well over 100,000 people in my Mailchimp, and that starts getting pretty expensive. So Mailchimp also allows you to run reports where what I could do is I could say, hey, if this person has been in my database for 6 months and they've never opened an email from me, let's take those people out of the database so I'm not paying for them as a contact. So I've been able to whittle down my list from like 100,000 to I think there's like 40,000 now, just because I take people out that are not engaging or opening my email. So Mailchimp has some cool tools that you can do that with as well. Before I move on to Big Purple Dot, any questions about Mailchimp?
Reggie, can you see the
I'm gonna
previous
go to
emails that you
Purple
sent
Dot, so
out?
just give me a second here. Okay, so back to kind of the email that you have in front of you, and I'm going to go over the number of ways that I use Mailchimp or Big Purple Dot, and then I'm also going to break it down and show you our Big Purple Dot. So number one, lead generation. So I run a leads team, and we purchase and refinance leads. And what Big Purple Dot allows me to do is if I'm purchasing a lead from, let's just say, Realtor.com. When I'm purchasing those leads, I can set up Realtor.com to automatically put that lead in my system when it becomes live to me. And then what I can do is I can create tags. And what a tag, it's like a classification to create a workflow off of. Okay, so for example, let's just say I get a lead from Realtor.com and I title my tag Green Home Loan Strip. Then what I do is if anything in my CRM is tagged Green Home Loan Strip, what I do is I create text and emails that automatically go out to those people. Okay, so this is kind of some examples of how this works in real time in our business. Okay, so if you came in as a lead, as a purchase lead, as soon as we get that lead, we're going to send a text to that lead. First name, whatever their first name is. I just got your info about pre-qualifying to purchase a home. Would love the opportunity to work with you. When are you available to chat about your goals? Okay, 1 minute later, we're going to send them a text. By the way, this is whatever loan officer is working on this with Green Home Loans. And one of the reasons we do that second text a minute later is a lot of people have automated text and lead gen, and we want to be the person at the top of their text box. Okay. And then what I do is I just create workflows of texts and emails of how, and I can create exactly when they go out to these customers. So the next day at 9:30 a.m., I'm going to send them, hey, this is blank from Green Home Loans. I'm excited to chat about your home financing options. When's a good time for you? So we're really trying to focus on a call to action to set an appointment so we can talk over the phone with these texts. Okay. And we can create these texts go on for like years. And if they, we're going to stay in front of people forever. So, we're basically creating workflows that last forever. Okay. Then 5 hours later on the second day, I send them another text and then I build that completely out. Okay. We also have emails that we can create for them. And these are examples of a couple of our emails that go out. And the signature of whoever the loan officer is assigned is going to be at the bottom of these. So when we get someone, just like when a text going out, we're also going to send them an email first name, we're so excited to start this journey with you. Hey, thanks for your information and welcome to our community. Basically giving a little information about us and why we'd love to work with them. Okay, you're not going to see the email signatures on the bottom of these because those are created with whoever's sending those emails. Because we assign leads to loan officers, whatever loan officer is sending this email automatically, it's going to send those out. Okay, so a couple different emails. This second email goes out the second day, and it's meant to tell a story of someone that thought they couldn't buy, and we showed them how to buy. Third thing is going to be like a credit tip. So we're basically trying to stay in front of people in multiple ways. Our goal with the text is to try to create an appointment. Our goal with the email is to try to create tips and stories to get them, wanting to buy and wanting to talk to us about buying or applying on our website. Okay, now moving down, what we do with Big Purple Dot is we create workflows off tags. And what a workflow is, it's just something that happens if a lead is classified in a certain way. Okay, so these are all examples of our tags. Contact established, application, doesn't qualify, pre-qualification issued, locked loan, not interested. You guys can read them. Already purchased a home, went with the other lender, credit repair, 3 to 6 months out, 7 to 12 months out, 12 months plus. Okay, so what we do is if a client gives us, if we talk to a client and they say, I already bought a home, what we do is we're going to tag it with this tag, and then we're going to use that tag to create marketing off them. Okay, so I put together a few different examples on this below, but in this particular example, if I talk to a customer and they say, hey, I'm not ready to buy, I want to buy in 7 months when my lease is up, what I can do is I can create a system to stay in front of them. Okay, so for example, on this particular person, they said we talked to them and they said they wanted to buy in 7 to 12 months. Okay, obviously I'm going to create a phone call to call them, but I like to back the phone calls with different marketing. Okay, so in 4 months, I'm going to reach out to them. Hey, first name, per our last convo, you were looking at buying a home in the near future. When is a good time for us to connect and look at your options? Okay, so if you're buying in 7 months, I want to stay in front of you well before that because a pre-qual is typically good for 3 to 4 months. Okay, and then I'm going to do a number of follow-up texts over the next couple of weeks to see if we can get you on the phone. Okay, I'm also going to intermingle those with emails. So if you're buying in 7 to 12 months, I'm going to send you an email every single month, kind of giving you some tips on how you can get ready to buy. And I can create all these things through my workflow in Big Purple Dot. I can create emails and texts and then create workflows so I can stay in front of them. Okay, here's another example of this. Okay, let's say a past client has funded. Okay, what I can do is right after they fund, I can send an automated text the next day asking them if they could review our business on Google. Okay, what I can do is 24 days later, approximately when their first payment is coming due, I can reach out to them and just say, hey, thanks so much for your business. I appreciate you. Just wanted to check in to see if you have any questions about your first mortgage payment. Okay. And then what I could do is if you're in mortgages and you're on this call, you know that most early payoff periods is in 6 months. So what I do is I reach out to them about the 6 month mark. Actually, it's about the 5 month mark and say, hey, great news. You've been in your loan about 6 months. Now we can look at refinance opportunities for you to see if it makes sense. Now these marketing things do not take the place of calling people. I'm still going to call them at 5 months, but it's just layers of things to stay in front of them. Okay, so we're going to have text, we're going to have email, and then we're also going to create phone calls off these. Okay, I could also reach out to them in a year and say, hey, great news, you've been in your loan a year. Thanks so much for your business and congratulations. So I can create these workflows off past clients, so I'm staying in front of them forever. Okay, so those are some things we do with past clients. Now, a few other things we do with mass text through Big Purple Dot. Let's just say something big happened in the market and I wanted to let a ton of people know. So let's just, for example, say interest rates dropped 1% over a week period of time. That is a humongous drop. And I want to let everybody possible know that. And the reality is it's going to be hard for me to call that many people because I have over 100,000 people in my database. Okay. And emails do not get opened at anywhere near the level as text. So what I might do is I might filter my CRM to basically look at whoever I want to send this message to. And I would create a mass text that I can do in Big Purple Dot and basically say, hey, great news. Interest rates have dropped 1% over the past 7 days. If you'd like to look at numbers for your situation, I'd love for you to call me, or you can apply here. Okay, so mass text I use to get information out to people in a short period of time. I might also use it if we have a class coming up and I want to invite you to the class, things like that. Okay, through Big Purple Dot, I can also create birthdays and holidays. So I can create a text that automatically goes out to them on 9 a.m. of whatever their birthday is. So this is an example of our birthday, which is actually a video here. We could create texts that go out like, a day or two before holidays. I don't like bothering people on holidays, but I can create ways that we're constantly staying in front of you. So when you think of mortgages, hopefully you're going to think of me and give us an opportunity. Okay. The other reason I like Big Purple Dot is it has API integration. So if you're going to get a CRM, specifically if you're a loan officer, this is a little bit different if you're a realtor, but loan officers have to work in what we call an LOS or a loan origination system where they're actually working on deals, pulling credit, things like that. And what we can do with Big Purple Dot, and you can do this with most CRMs, is I can actually integrate. So if I start a file in Arrive is what we use as our loan origination system, I can automatically pull that person into Big Purple Dot and have it update the lead as it goes along. So if I talk to someone and we adverse the loan, I could have Big Purple Dot automatically tag that doesn't qualify, and I could create marketing off that. If we approve the loan or submit the loan, I could create workflows off that. Funding loans, all these things I can create workflows based upon Arrive talking to Big Purple Dot. Okay. Another thing I love about the API integration is this. Okay. Let's just say I talked to someone 5 years ago and we went over loan options, and for whatever reason, they didn't do anything with us. Well, with the API integration, I'm automatically going to have their birthday in that lead. Okay. So I'm, over the past 5 years, every year on their birthday, I'm wishing them a happy birthday by text. So I'm creating ways to stay in front of them so they remember me. Okay. And I really like that specifically with people that don't move forward immediately, because most people do not market to those people long term, and I do. Okay. The sixth thing I really like about Big Purple Dot in any CRM you want to use is the reporting aspect. So I can look in Big Purple Dot, I can look at how many leads we purchased over a certain period of time. I can look at if we've contacted them or what the status is of that lead, how many applications, how many pre-qualifications we've issued, things like that. Okay, so I'm gonna share my Big Purple Dot here real quick just to show you what it kind of looks like. So give me 1 second while I pull it up. Okay, so this is actually our Big Purple Dot in real time. So you'll notice over the past hour or 43 minutes, we actually have leads that have come through here. And I'll show you kind of an example here. So right here is how many leads we have in our system, 112,946. So this lead was created 3 days ago. It's been attempted, contacted 3 times, and it has a green home loan strip. So if I open up this lead, it's going to show me a history of the emails and texts that have went out, the information on the lead. But here, it's actually going to show me like the texts that have went out. Okay, so there's some automated text that went out, and then it looks like Jeff had a conversation with this person. He did a follow-up text that wasn't automated. So the cool things about these workflows is if someone engages you in a conversation, you can immediately stop the flow. So for example, let's say Jeff starts talking to Joseph. Okay, he probably doesn't want automated text going out to that person. So we can create all kinds of workflows that stop the normal marketing if a conversation happens. So if I take an application on Joseph, I don't want a text going out saying, hey, when can we touch base about your application? Because I've already pulled one. So you can create all these rules in the system so you're only marketing to people that are at certain levels. Okay, now the cool thing about Big Purple Dot is you can view all the texts that come in on your computer screen, through, just a website portal. It also has an application, so I can have an app on my phone. So anytime someone texts me, I could have it on my phone and get rings and things like that. So that's the system we use for lead origination. And one of the reasons I really love this system is I just think it's the mass texting and the texting flow is better than most other systems I've seen. Most people don't allow you to text like Big Purple Dot does. So just an FYI on that. And just an FYI, anybody on here that uses Reach is a mass text system that you use through your phone. Uh, we used to use that somewhat, but with Reach, they're so much stricter now on if you're sending business text from your phone. So if you send like 100 texts from your phone, they can literally shut down your phone. It almost happened to me, and it's happened to someone that worked for us where they literally closed down his Apple account. So if you want to use text in your business, you really do want to get a CRM that can help you text, because what they do is they register the texting phone number through a system that basically shows that it's a business phone number. Okay, so you definitely want to do that if you're mass texting for business or texting in any meaningful form. Okay, so want to go back over a couple things here. Give me one sec. Okay. Now, one of the things I like to do is whenever I'm sending texts, emails out to people that are in our marketing system, I don't like using CRMs that just create it for you. What I want to do is anything that's going out to our clients, I want to make sure I've read and that I like that information that's going out to the client. So if you start a CRM and you're trying to build these workflows of texts and emails, it can get overwhelming. One thing you could do is you can go to ChatGPT and you can basically request them to do anything you want. So, for example, I could say something like this: ChatGPT, I would like a 12 emails sent out, or 12 emails created in a humorous tone that are no more than 200 words long. The purpose of these emails is to stay in front of clients that basically said they wanted to purchase but haven't moved forward with the purchase yet. I would like each email to create a tip of how they can best be ready to pre-qualify and purchase a home in the future. Okay, and ChatGPT will literally create all those emails for me. I can look through them, I can take what I like, and I can, discard what I don't like, or I can add, subtract, anything like that. But it's a really cool tool for you to get stuff that, is kind of a framework, and then you can adjust it to your personality or whatever you want to do. But ChatGPT also allows you to tell them the personality that you want the email to have. Okay. So in conclusion, if you've looked at any of these CRMs in Mailchimp, we have 43,000 people. In Big Purple Dot, we have 112,000 people. If you're using Excel spreadsheets and things like that, and you've done this for a long time, it's literally impossible to stay in front of that many people without creating a CRM. So literally every single day in our business, I get opportunities, and it's because I'm obsessed with staying in front of people in a very systematic way. So I don't really do loans anymore. I basically send them to people on our team, but I get opportunities every single day. Someone's going to reach out to me today about a home loan. They probably got a text right now if you heard that going off, needing a quote, interested in pre-qualifying, a realtor needing help with their business, wants to talk marketing strategies, things like that. Okay. And the reason I get these opportunities is because I've created systems so I'll automatically get these opportunities. Okay. Now, anything, from the people on the group, I know a lot of time in these trainings, people don't want to talk, but if you've used a CRM, if you're implementing a CRM, do you have any questions, or is there anything personally I can help with? Okay. So if you have no questions, that's going to be the end of the training. So I sent you an email going over everything that we discussed. I'll also send you a link to this recording once it's uploaded to the cloud. If you have any questions or anything we can help with, just let me know. But I promise you, if you take the time to build these things out, they're going to help you scale your business. You're going to get more opportunities. The more opportunities you have, business builds business. So every person you talk to, you want to create marketing to stay in front of them over a long period of time. And one last thing I'll give you, just kind of a tidbit, is a lot of people get embarrassed about marketing to people, like they're bothering people. I have a very different mindset on that. And this is what I'm going to leave you with. If you're confident that you're the best realtor or you're the best loan officer, you want people to know about you because you feel like you're going to do the best for that client. Like I honestly think if if a client comes to us, that we're going to do a better job than anybody else on the market. So it's my duty, because I believe that, to market to them. It's my honest opinion. If a loan officer wants to scale their business, we've created a platform where if they use our tools and if they utilize all the things that we put into this, that they can scale their business. I honestly believe that if realtors want to work with people in our company or on our team, that we're going to be able to be the best partner for them. And because I believe that, I have no problems in marketing to people at scale and staying in front of them over a long period of time. So if you have any questions on this after the fact, feel free to reach out to me. We work with loan officers on this all the time. We also work with realtors, helping them build this out as well. So anything I can help with, just let me know, and really appreciate your time today. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you.